Hey guys, welcome to another episode of EMG's Talkabouts. I'm Damien Navarro, one of the managing partners here at EMG. This is my business partner, Dr. Blaine Berger, another one of the managing partners. Today we're actually going to be breaking it up into a series. So this is the first series of some healthcare discussions around some of the unique things that we're finding within the healthcare market and specific hospital systems. The hospital systems are being broken into children's hospitals, academic medical centers, and faith-based institutions. So for today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about children's hospitals. I don't know if you know this, but 5% of all hospitals are actually children's hospitals, and EMG has had some pretty unique experiences with working with two very different kinds. I'd like Blaine to talk a little bit about is really the first kind, which is those children's hospitals that sit in the midst of a larger health system. I know that some of the challenges I saw early on is the convolution that they have trying to really stand out from some of the other service offerings that the hospital systems have. Maybe you can kind of discuss that.
Sure. Well, Children's Hospital is a really unique place. I mean, number one, it's a hospital. But number two, a lot of what a children's hospital is trying to do is further its mission. It's trying to gain donors, it's trying to gain notoriety in its community, and it's trying to offer service to help sick children get better. And so, when a children's hospital looks to do any type of marketing engagement, it's usually rooted in several things. It's rooted in trying to generate market share, trying to get children and parents to come in to get them into clinics or for office visits and that sort of thing. But on the flip side, what a children's hospital is trying to accomplish is to get brand awareness, or to make themselves be more a part of the community and potentially get donors and get support from the community. So when we look to do marketing endeavors for a children's hospital, we're always trying to find a really good mix of the two. How do we engage parents? How do we engage their children? And talk about sometimes uncomfortable situations and diseases. And then how do we tell their stories so that the rest of the community can get involved and be a part of making something great?
So would you say that storytelling at the most root of it is probably one of the most important things when it really comes to a children's hospital that resonates with those different audiences? I mean, you have parents, you have donors, you have the community, but you also have the children.
Right. Yeah, I think storytelling is very important. Each children's hospital has its own stories to tell, and you really have to get to the root of what that children's hospital is trying to accomplish from a standpoint of their mission, and maybe address some of the rock star physicians they have at their facility and the types of diseases and treatments or diseases that they treat, and then highlight the great stories that come out of treating children with those diseases. And a lot of these kids are severely have severe diseases, and they come out making it, and there's some great stories to tell. And to do that in an engaging way where you're not only capturing parents who are looking to get their sick child treated, but you also want to do it in a way that captures other community members who want to give back or want to get involved in also propelling the Children's Hospital's mission.
I know one of my favorite projects we ever did was the Kid Zone at the Cardin Children's Medical Center. Can you talk a little bit about why did they decide to go in that kind of a direction? Because I know a lot of times when you're going to be marketing a new hospital, they tend to take a very traditional approach. And I know in this particular case, they wanted to offer something very different.
Sure. Well, the Banner Health Cardin Children's Medical Center, they contacted us about a year before the Children's Hospital was even built. So we had no facility to do any marketing around. There were no photos, there were no patients in the hallways. There weren't really stories to tell. And so what we did is we approached a day in the life of being a child at the medical center or at the Children's Hospital. And so what we actually did is animated the whole series and told the story of what a child takes to the hospital for an outpatient visit, what the child takes to the hospital for an inpatient visit, what are the different healthcare providers, who will they interact with, who will the child interact with during their experience, what is an x-ray, what is an MRI. So we created this virtual virtual experience using animated characters where they actually can play games, the parents can get involved, they can print materials, and basically it educates them about the process of what a children's hospital is and what they can expect. In the midst of that, it also shows the community what the hospital will be about before the walls are even put up, before the floors are put in. So it really got the community excited about the children's hospital that was coming, and we didn't even need the children's hospital built yet to get that excitement going.
I think there's also a secondary outcome, which is you're essentially building a knowledge center, not just for that particular hospital system. When we talk about brand awareness, that other patients at maybe other health systems find online, because it was generic enough that these kind of treatments and everything that was being animated could be used by multiple hospitals. So maybe, is that really important, that you're developing material that obviously isn't just for your patient, but could also be widely used by others when it talks about?
Sure. I mean, so for Banner Health, we actually know that they have more than one children's hospital. So we built this particular experiential website to teach about what it's like to be at a children's hospital, where they could actually modify it to use for some of their other children's hospitals. In addition, it is somewhat more universal in nature, meaning that when somebody sees it, they may not actually go to Cardin Children's Medical Center. They may actually just learn about disease processes or what it's like to go to a children's hospital, and then from that they then may become a consumer of children's hospital services, or they may actually give back to the community through volunteering or through donations.
Very cool. Do you have anything to say around how are parents really challenged with finding whether or not they take their child to a traditional hospital system or a children's hospital? Is there any kind of differentiation that you've seen in marketing those two different types of systems separately? I mean, have you seen the same way and the same approach that's being used by a more traditional medical system or a healthcare or hospital being used by the children's hospitals, or is it?
I think it depends on the disease that it needs to be treated. For rare childhood diseases, obviously parents are doing internet searches and trying to get in to see the best physician. For things that are a little less so specific, certainly it's more experiential in nature. A parent wants to go to a facility that they feel like has a mission of making a child get better or building the community. So in that case, for a more general type of approach or universal approach, typically children's hospitals do more brand awareness, more fun activity type of websites, more experiential in nature versus lead generation in nature. And so depending on the disease process, you can go different routes.
Very cool. Well, I think that's about it for this particular talk about. We have a lot of other information I know on our website as it relates to different types of strategic consulting that we do offer our children's hospital and healthcare system clients. So please feel free to check those out. Otherwise, thank you, Blaine, for coming down today, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Thanks.